a not too distant time ahead. There is a way to get it done without leaving your bed. It is a way to go to work by using your head. It is a quirk of the network, a mind to 10. Just visualize anything that you want.
So the tour is over, hypothetically.
Yeah.
And then what do you feel like when you're transitioning back into civilian living?
It doesn't really stop, because as it started 10 years ago, it's a life of creation. Now, I still don't have a distinction between, life on the road, doing shows every night, and life at home. I don't stop creating, I have certain tasks on the road where I do create the show every day, and create time for yoga, and create time for blogging, create time for, communication and family and whatnot. So at home, it's just a little bit different on how I manage my time, but it's still about doing things passionately and creatively.
Is there stuff you miss on tour?
Yeah, I mean, like right now, we're sitting in my local coffee shop. I miss this place when I'm on tour. Like, tour is your sense of community is always in flux. Like, you definitely have your band and your crew, and you're like a traveling circus. But then you also have, the people you invite to the show every day, but those people are new every day. And then there's also people that work with the shows locally every day, and then there's an online community that's always there for you as well. So, but when I'm on tour, I miss this community. These are people that when I'm not on the road are my cheerleaders. These are the ones that are calling me out and really making sure I'm creating big things and living up to my word and staying healthy and staying focused and all those things. So I miss this crew. More recently, I've been able to bring a lot of this crew with me on the road. Bringing this type of lifestyle with me on the road. And, I miss surfing. I miss my cats. But there's so much still that the road has to offer. I try not to focus on the lack of something.
Do you guys have any questions?
Bush Wall is here. We should ask him a special guest question. We can get to it when he walks over.
Okay.
I'm sure he's curious.
We wanted to talk about water real quick.
Okay.
And, water conservation.
Okay.
So, what are some of the things you do, and what are some of the things you recommend
Got it.
us to do?
Got it. One of the things I do is I always carry with me a container for water, a SIG bottle, and that's been huge. I've been carrying one for the last 20 months, probably, dedicated. I finally had to retire my first one. It was just so beat up. The paint was coming off and started to get in my mouth. So it's actually on a shelf because it's my little symbol of when I banned plastic water bottles from my life. And then a hot beverage container for the exact same reason. Like, I actually don't know, but I think this shop might actually still give you a styrofoam cup on your way out the door, which means I need to work on this place a little more.
Biodegradable.
These are biodegradable,
yeah.
right? But I don't know about the hot
Yeah,
cups.
that's true.
So anyway, in my band and crew, I made sure everyone got a SIG. In fact, they have two. One that's their personal SIG and one that's on stage in case they forget to bring it. Because the last thing I want to do is on stage have plastic water bottles laying around that the audience sees. I want to just get that out of people's minds. And I want to show that it's really easy. Like, I actually want to convince people that it's as important to have a personal canteen as it is for you to have a new phone or your phone. Like, you carry your phone around, you're not going to forget that. So grab your canteen and bring it on, And the more we show our demand that we're going to fill up our bottles, I think the care will go back into how fresh that water is coming out of the faucet, how fresh it's coming out of the tap, Like, I think a lot of people are afraid to use water fountains just because they see plastic water bottles and, I'd rather get something that's coming fresh from somewhere else.
Which is insane.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
You know, and I've had the real privilege of visiting other countries where water is scarce and water is filthy, and to see people still have to drink it. And so when I'm here in the States, I look at all water and say, this is fine, this is great. And I'm going to put my immune system through it if I have to, but strengthen my body and adapt to the water that we have now. But I don't want to vote against that with plastic water bottles. You know what I mean? I feel like every time I bring a plastic water bottle in my life, I've just said, yes, I'll take another, please. You know, and so that's where I'm starting. That was my first step. And that came because through touring, every day, you know, they give you 400 plastic water bottles, and everyone go through them. And the worst thing is 2 people would drink half of it and sit them down, and then go, oh, which one's mine? I'm not sure. I'll just get another one. And the room would be full of half-full plastic water bottles. It was just atrocious. So I did my best to clean that up on tour. And then, you know, having become a surfer and spending a lot of time in the water, I really started to pay attention to the water, you know, like, if it rains in San Diego, you get a nice rain for a day or two, you're advised not to get in the ocean. You know, surfers and families who enjoy the ocean through activities can't get in the water because of all the filth, especially that runs along Highway 5 and all these communities. It just drains into the ocean and turns our ocean into kind of a silky, oily disgustingness. Of course, also where the river mouths are, you can literally see the garbage coming out into the oceans, and it's so sad, you know. And I had a chance to visit Peru this year, and a couple of the guides that I was working with are really doing their best to speak from their hearts from all the way down there to communicate with the rest of the world how important it is, you know, that we live. Our Mother Earth is alive, they say. We live on her body. You know, where there is water, there is life. We would never think of dumping chemicals on our food, which is ultimately going to run off into our water and make it undrinkable. Like, it's unheard of to them, you know. So farming is such a great tradition down there. Just about everything is organic. I believe it was said, like, I want to say 90, but that might be absurd. I'm going to just safely say 60% of all the produce in the world originated in Peru. You know, they cultivated 1,500 varieties of potato. The first ones to do so. I mean, they just get off on it. And so I was able to bring that home with me, and how I can apply that to my own garden and my own farming. And so where there's water, there's life. You know, that's what I wanted to get to. And now my message, when anyone talks about water, I just simply say, especially when I'm in the Midwest, you know, so you don't have to live near the ocean for the ocean to have an impact on you. And you don't have to live near the ocean for you to have an impact on it. And, you know, I don't want to see the depletion of marine life. I don't want to see families expelled from the waters. You know, I don't want to see people getting sick just from swimming on the coastlines. You know, I don't want to see us run out of water simply because it's all polluted and we can't use it anywhere. You know? So that's my current issue with water. And my to-dos right now, in addition to the water bottle, are just research and activism. You know. And it's a new step for me, and I'm excited to see how far I can take it.
And I'm overjoyed, and I'm overloud, and I'm feeling lucky, like a little boy.